This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Chinese automaker NIO makes some pretty impressive cars, priced from $50,000 to $90,000. But now it's going to develop what it calls budget EVs and is building a new assembly plant in China to export them to Europe. They could go on sale as early as next year. NIO is also one of the pioneers in battery swapping and plans to build 1,000 more swapping stations in China this year, which is more than double its previous plans. The new stations will mostly go in the country's third and fourth tier cities. By the end of the year, NIO will have around 2,300 swapping stations in China. And battery swapping for budget cars with small batteries could give NIO a real competitive advantage. Despite a war in Ukraine, soaring inflation, and an energy crisis triggered by banning Russian oil and gas, things are looking up for the European auto industry. Car sales were up strong in January. Automakers sold more than 760,000 vehicles, a gain of 11%. However, you should know that's compared to last year, the weakest January on record. Sales of electrified vehicles continue to grow as well. BEVs accounted for 9.5% market share in January. Hybrids were at 26%, and plug-ins were just over 7%. Gasoline-powered vehicles are still the most popular powertrain and posted a sales gain last month, bringing their total market share to nearly 38%. Diesels, on the other hand, dropped in sales and now only account for 16% of the market. Volkswagen and Ford recently gave up on developing autonomous cars with Argo AI, but Jaguar Land Rover is expanding its AV research in Europe. It's opening 3 new tech hubs to develop autonomous technology. They'll be located in Germany, Italy, and Spain and employ around 100 engineers. The new R&D centers are part of JLR's partnership with chipmaker NVIDIA, which was formed last year to develop automated driving systems and artificial intelligence. The new tech hubs are in addition to the 6 JLR already operates in the US, Hungary, Ireland, the UK, China, and India.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
GM Defense, which is a subsidiary of GM, has been on a tear lately. Last June, it announced plans to expand into Canada and created a new international unit to make defense vehicles for foreign countries. In August, it partnered with the German defense company Rheinmetall to compete in a tactical truck program for the U.S. Army worth around $5 billion. And now it has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Tawazun Council, which is an entity of the UAE government, to develop future mobility products and power solutions. That includes technology like integrated vehicles, fuel cells, power generators, autonomy, and connectivity, which will be used to support military, security, and government customers from the UAE. GM Defense has a goal to generate $1 billion of revenue a year by the end of the decade. Speaking of GM, Cadillac is giving its smallest crossover, the XT4, a slight refresh. Both the rear and front styling were updated, but the bigger change goes to the front fascia, which is now more in line with the XT6 and Lyriq. And the same could be said of the interior. Its new 33-inch display screen was inspired by the one in the Lyriq. Other upgrades include a new sound system, wheel options, and interior trim and color choices. Sales of the refreshed XT4 start this summer. Here's a question that nobody probably ever asked until recently. But what do you get when you mix a Mercedes G-Wagon with the classic Montclair puffer jacket? This is the interpretation of the two iconic luxury brands, an art piece they call Project Mondo G. To be honest, part of me wants to laugh, and the other part would love to roll up to the valet at some swanky restaurant, hop out and toss him the keys like this was just my everyday. I love the absurdity of it. And this thing is big too. It's basically a two-door G-Class with giant chrome puffy wheels and a top put on it. The main body actually looks like it was mostly made from clay, and we see design details from both classic and modern Gs. And this should be used as a show car by both brands, so hopefully you'll get to see it in person one day.
At Schaeffler, we pioneer motion. Electrifying mobility, manufacturing smarter, reducing CO2 emissions, making energy production clean. Schaeffler pioneers motion to advance how the world moves.
The EV revolution isn't going to go anywhere if automakers can't get the raw materials they need to make batteries. And that has kicked off a global frenzy to lock down a steady source of supplies. And automakers are doing something different. They're buying raw materials directly from mining companies instead of going through intermediaries. Tesla locked up a deal with 3 Australian mining companies. They'll supply graphite for battery anodes. Stellantis also has a deal with Australian companies to get cobalt. General Motors recently signed a deal with an American company to jointly mine lithium in Nevada. In fact, GM actually became a part owner in the company, Lithium Americas. And all this frenzy in finding new sources of raw materials led to a discovery in India this month of a massive lithium deposit. And India could potentially become the 6th largest supplier of lithium in the world. The other countries with the largest deposits are Bolivia, Argentina, Chile, the United States, and Australia. Almost anywhere you go, there is a shortage of well-trained car techs. And that's especially true when it comes to mechanics, upholsterers, and engineers who know how to repair and maintain classic cars. So, an organization called the Piston Foundation is directing charitable giving from car enthusiasts into apprenticeships to get a new generation of people interested and trained in restoring classic cars. And they're looking for your help. You can donate to the cause, or sponsor a scholarship, or even donate your time and expertise. We've got a link in today's transcript and description box, or you can just do a search for the Piston Foundation. That wraps up today's show. Thanks for watching.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And by Schaeffler, we pioneer motion.